For years, Whoopi Goldberg has dominated the conversation on The View, often brushing off conservative guests and steering debates with unmistakable authority. But this time, the dynamic shifted. The longtime moderator unexpectedly found herself facing someone who refused to be steamrolled.
If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
That someone was Karoline Leavitt.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
What unfolded wasn't an ordinary policy disagreement. It quickly escalated into a tense exchange that left the studio atmosphere noticeably different. Leavitt directly challenged Goldberg's past commentary, pushing back against what she described as selective standards and partisan framing. The online reaction was immediate and intense, with viewers dissecting every second. Rumors began circulating about behind-the-scenes unease at ABC, raising questions about how the network would respond to the viral confrontation.
She said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here. Oh, yeah. Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
The most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex, and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
The discussion began when Goldberg, along with co-host Joy Behar, pressed Leavitt on cultural and political issues tied to modern wokeness. As has often been the case on the program, the tone grew sharp and personal.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
At one point, Behar suggested that public perception sometimes favors appearance over substance, a comment that critics quickly labeled ironic, given the show's repeated emphasis on supporting women across industries. Observers noted the contradiction, championing empowerment broadly while appearing skeptical of conservative female success.
You want to take this?
So, you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit of, oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark. Because Karoline Leavitt she went to St. Anselm College. She worked for WMUR.
Ran for Congress?
In New Hampshire, she ran for Congress at the age of 25, put out a very good campaign.
Supporters of Leavitt pointed to her rapid rise in political circles, arguing that her resume speaks for itself. Meanwhile, critics questioned whether Goldberg's lengthy career in entertainment and broadcasting insulated her from meaningful challenge. The generational contrast between the two became part of the larger debate playing out online.
She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives and this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job.
What stood out most was Leavitt's composure. She maintained steady eye contact, responded without hesitation, and appeared unfazed by interruptions.
These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should wake up.
I would like to talk about Joe
am
Biden
stating-
and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
Now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to
the
come back out to the
expectation
panel.
for-
Caroline,
the
thank you very much for
expectation
your
for-
time.
Goldberg, for her part, defended her broader message about equality and accountability, maintaining that her critiques were about policy rather than personal attacks. Supporters say her stance was consistent with her long-held positions, even if critics disagreed with her framing.
That was so good. So good. In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against me.
Leavitt then delivered her sharpest rebuttal, arguing that selective empowerment undermines the very principles it claims to defend. The studio audience grew noticeably quieter as she questioned whether ideological bias shapes who receives praise and who receives skepticism. Clips of the exchange spread rapidly across social media platforms, propelling the segment into national trending topics and intensifying scrutiny on the show's editorial balance.
While I vow to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this white. I'd like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country.
In the days that followed, reports suggested internal discussions at ABC about tone and direction. When Goldberg was absent from a subsequent episode, the network stated she was taking time off following recent discussions. That explanation only fueled further speculation. Now, executives face a strategic crossroads: recalibrate the show's approach or continue leaning into the controversy that has long driven its ratings. Whether this moment marks a turning point for The View remains uncertain, but it undeniably reignited debate about fairness, representation, and the evolving landscape of televised political discourse.